My daughter wants to change her last name. She hasn't seen her dad in 8 years. We have a no custody agreement, never went to court, but he's on the birth certificate. So I have to have him sign off on it. She wants absolutely nothing to do with him.
So the daughter wants nothing to do with the dad who has been MIA for 8 years and wants to change her name. My question was, how old is the daughter? In this one, the daughter was 11 years old.
Okay.
And this is an anonymous post from one of our Facebook groups. Here's the real issue. If you want to change your daughter's name, just change her name. Call her something different. Change the paperwork at the school. Just change it. Because what do you need? Something official? She's 11. She doesn't have a driver's license.
Right.
And so what's going to happen? Like, yeah, when she's 16, she has to put her actual legal name. Mm-hmm. So what? Do you want to spend thousands of dollars to change the name? The other thing is that if you instigate this, you are basically inviting him to show back up and say, I want my rights.
Right.
And he'll say, well, she didn't tell me where she was, and it was the mom's fault that I wasn't there. I wanted to be with my daughter. Please give me some relief. And the court will allow him to have custody, and now he's back in her life.
How is that? I don't understand that. If 8 years he hasn't paid child support, he hasn't tried to see the child.
She has grounds to terminate his parental rights.
Uh-huh.
But it's going to be somewhere between $5,000 and $20,000 to do that.
Right.
Right now,
unless he just signs off on it.
Unless he signs off on it. And if he's going to sign off on it, then great, no problem. However, anytime that you're in this situation, you risk waking a sleeping bear. Mm-hmm. And so if he decides, and here's the worst part. He mentions this to his new girlfriend or his now wife.
Right.
And she says, yes, we need to go get your daughter from that. And you remember that story that you told me where she wouldn't let you keep your daughter and everything? And now he's like, oh, great. Now I'm in this. And my wife is all worked up. And because I lied to her, not that I abandoned the child and said that my ex was the problem, now I have to go along with that story, and now my current relationship is the one driving this giant thing. So now, whereas he was away, now because you wanted to have, it had to be legal because my daughter, well, now he's back. And if he shows up after that amount of time, almost every court, even though he's been gone for 8 years, is going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, great, that's fine. We'll do some reunification therapy. So you'll have to pay for a counselor, and the daughter's going to have to go with a counselor with her dad that's a stranger to her. The one that she doesn't even want his last name. Well, now she gets to visit with him. Mm-hmm. So you risk making this 1,000 times worse by trying to do something. You already have what you need. My recommendation is don't do anything. And by the way, when she's 18, she can go in and change the name without even notifying him or anything. And it's really easy. Once an adult name change is the one legal issue that I can tell you, go ahead and try it without an attorney.
Right.
Because you can't do any real damage from it. And you either get it or not. And it's really easy. And you can save yourself a couple of $1,000. I wouldn't do it myself because it wouldn't be worth the time and effort to figure it out and the pain. And it's going to take you hour after hour, mistake after mistake. You're going to learn the hard way. But you can't do any real damage because the judge will just say, no, you didn't do this. Go back and fix that. And it'll be a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You'll waste more than $2,000 of your own time. Mm-hmm. But do it then. And don't do anything right now. Otherwise, you risk him coming back because of his new girlfriend, his mom who's been begging him and wants to see the kids. And since I've been served with the lawsuit now, I may as well. He's going to have every reason to come back. And the other thing is he's going to go, oh, you want something from me? Okay, sure. For $5,000 you pay me, I'll let her change her name. And if not, I'm going to come back in and I'm not going to terminate my parental rights. I want parental rights. And then your retort is, well, I'm going to make you pay child support then, and you get into this battle of nonsense and you reinstigate the fight that caused you to break up 8 years ago. This is a bad idea. This ain't worth it. And by the way, all you need to do, it's just an idea in your head. Just change your idea. Mm-hmm. Just change your thought about it. She doesn't want to have that last name? Great. Use Jane Smith instead of Jane Jones. Just put Jane Smith on everything. And on your driver's license application, when you're 15 or 16, your driver's license will say that other name. So Then when you're 18, you get to change it on your driver's license and your social security card. Those tiny 2 little changes are the only thing that makes a difference to you. Otherwise, go by the other name. It's not like you have to go home and tell him that you changed it. He's nowhere to be found. You don't need to do that.
Well, that's another problem. If they don't know where he's located,
It doesn't matter. They have to then search him out, and then
but sometimes that's almost impossible.
And there's other problems. Yeah, but you pay a lot of money for it, and why pay the money? Take her to Disney World. Just have her change her name on the paperwork. Change the name with the school. Just put this is her last name now.
She's going
Just
by
change
my name. Yeah.
I mean, they let you be a furry in schools now. You can change your name without a legal document. Like, what does it matter what it says in some record building in downtown? It doesn't. It's an idea. Like, go ahead, use the new name. So
schools will just let you change your name. I don't.
Why not?
They would do that.
Most of them will, and you can just go by a different name.
Because when you register a child, you have to register with a birth certificate and everything.
Okay, so great. They'll be registered under that name. Just put the different name on all the different paperwork.
Yeah.
Our adoptive daughter changed her name twice. Technically, we didn't adopt her as a fictive kin thing, but she lived with us for 18 months, and she wanted to change her name to her mom's former name that she was called. There was no issue with that.
Yeah.
Everybody at the school called her that name.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. We called her one name. They called her another.
Yeah.
But and it was fine. We didn't care. They didn't care. It was, whatever.
Yeah.
And do that. Do not risk the nightmare of this. The cost and the risk is huge.
Yeah.
The benefit, minuscule.
Especially if your child wants nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And
all you're doing is going back and
worms.
saying, hey, would you like to be back in their life? Would you like to be back in our lives? By the way, we need something from you. Oh, you do? Great. And it's even less him than his mom, his girlfriend, or whatever. I still
do think that the mom has leverage, though. She can be like, you owe me this much money
but she
and
better
child
have
support.
she better have $20,000 or $30,000 banked.
Yeah.
For the potential battle. And if she does, she'll win, and he'll have to pay child support, or she'll get him to terminate his rights, and then she can do everything on her own.
Yeah.
And maybe she'll make him pay child support, but in making him pay child support, which is her leverage, he's going to exercise possession.
Yeah.
So you don't even want her to have his last name, but you're inviting him back into her life if you try and do any of this.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing I've told client after client after client. You want to talk about your story?
No.
Okay. Then we'll talk about something else on the next episode. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.